Hello, my name is Nicole Hartley Bradford, and I'm here to record a way of going into first position, the first position of a possibilitator, of a edge worker, of a human being committed to collaboratively creating another culture here on planet Earth that is not war based, a culture that comes into existence as human beings jack into the archetypal forces such as love, possibility, clarity, integrity, aliveness, healing, transformation, and collaborate to create something radically different. I've been experimenting with distinctions, tools, thought maps, and processes from possibility management. And there I encountered this way of getting into first position. And as I have been researching more and more about how to hold space and be a space through which these archetypal forces are at work in the world, as distinct from rescuing people, rescuing which I've discovered has a consequence of I then become uh, an, another external authority that people use rather than a force for empowering them to have their own authority. And in a way, even empowering them to have their own authority has a flavor of superiority to it. So that they're off the hook a little bit from choosing to have their own authority. And and so I've discovered this way of going into first position that I want to document. And if it's useful to you as an experiment to try, go for it. I begin by, if I'm sitting, kind of putting my sit bones solid onto the surface I'm sitting on, or standing in a very neutral and physically centered and balanced position. And sometimes it comes to take a deep breath, sometimes it doesn't. And I notice my feet and my sit bones, the way gravity is holding me onto the surface of Gaia. And I notice that my intention right now is to become ever more Gaian, ever more as Earth, as Gaia, the morphogenetic field of this planet, to be synchronized and united and unblocked from being from being her. And so I drop my tension into her. And this next impulse for that comes as an intention is to be radically centered in my own authority. And so I check my physical center. I orient to my physical center, this grapefruit sized space in my physical body between my hips, a couple of inches below my belly button, and a bit forward of my spine. And then I check for where my energetic center is, my energetic kind of field. It's been my experience that wherever I put my attention, my energetic field starts to flow energy there. And my question for myself is, where have I done this and not consciously brought back my energetic center, my attention, the flow of my energy, and bring all of that back now onto my physical center. And I notice something I often notice is that this requires a fierceness to feel, to feel and use my anger to be fiercely centered in my own authority, fiercely centered in a way that makes it possible for me to be in touch with my own instincts, the Gaian instincts. So fiercely centered in my own authority, in my energetic center, that I'm barely in my mind at all. In fact, I've discovered that as I bring my energetic center down from my mind onto my physical center, a whole new kind of space opens up in my mental body. Space, a clear and open space. And when I simply notice that, there may arise thoughts, there may appear thoughts, and I can have the thoughts rather than being swept up in the thoughts. And having more of my noticing be on my full system from head to toe, from possibility space up here to the material space down here, which is the physical reality where I want to create new results than I've ever created. The results of inhabiting, creating with others a culture that isn't a culture that's made by logic and mind and knowing. It's being sourced from information and energy that comes from Gaian resources, like feelings, low intensity anger, fear, as intuition, as impulse. As we're switched. After becoming more fiercely centered in my physical center, in my own authority, my energetic body here and now, I declare that I have a grounding cord. Put my attention on this grounding cord that connects my physical and energetic center to the physical and energetic center of Gaia, planet Earth. And again, drop any tension I'm holding in my physical, energetic bodies down through my grounding cord into Gaia. I'm radically relying on her to turn this tension into fertilizer. As this tension drops, I notice energetically I drop also more into collusion with planet Earth. Experience myself as an untethered appendage of Gaia. Untethered yet deeply connected, intrinsically connected, so that I can see with her eyes, think with her intelligence, speak with her voice. just simultaneously hers and mine. I notice for the second direction of this two-way communication that is my grounding cord, this dropping down of tension. And this communication that says, I'm radically relying on you to become you in action. And this incoming communication from her, from Gaia. And right now I simply receive this joy, appreciation. And from there, I like to declare that I have a personal bubble of space. And this is not protection, it's distinction. This is my space. Inside is my physical body, my energetic body, my mental body, my emotional body, the feelings, including emotions from the past about the past, which are mine to mine into, and as if they're a time capsule of feeling that I didn't get the information and energy in the past, but I can get it now. And I do this from time to time by having emotional healing processes and participating in authentic adult initiations. And then all of those time capsuled emotions can bring their information and energy for what I want here and now. New decisions, new experiments. And I let the information and energy come from Gaia, come and fill my bubble. This is my essence as a Gaian woman is Gaian. My particular essence as the being that I am. These blend together in a unique essence. I'm reminded right here, right now, to slow down to the speed of love, of trust in my own authority and in the impulses that come to me from Gaia, from my feelings, the thoughts that come as possibility. I can choose or choose not to use. I also like to declare myself in a golden cube of workspace, which is itself connected with Gaia through a juicy black grounding cord. It reminds me of licorice. This is the space in which I meet other beings. This is the space in which I create. This is the space in which I'm actually dismantling barriers to collaboration, love, war, dismantling the impulses I have for war, for comparison, for right and wrong making, for good and bad making, for believing. ever more being with what is in reality, so that I can be an agent for consciously created and chosen reality. And as I bring my attention, which has been inwardly directed and gradually more outwardly directed as I set my bubble in my workspace, I like to observe the physical reality around me and notice that it's how it is because I chose, didn't choose. And myself feel the fear of being a creator and the joy. Feel glad, feel joyous to have these tools, have this practice, this process, these ways of coming ever more into reality and aliveness. Thank you for watching. I am open to hearing anything you discovered that you want to share, that you want to say. May each of us humans become ever more alive, ever more integral, ever more co-creative. Goodbye for now.